Hey everyone. Tonight, we'll drift together through the quiet science of healing, a place where your body hums softly beneath the surface, where every breath repairs something unseen, and where time itself slows to the rhythm of recovery. So before we begin, take a moment to dim the lights. Maybe let a fan whisper nearby. And if you'd like, press the like button, but only if you truly enjoy what I do here. Tell me in the comments where you're listening from, and what time it is for you right now. Now, close your eyes, and let's drift gently into the story your body tells every night, the story of how you heal. When you hear the word healing, you might imagine something grand, miracles, recovery, light breaking through. But the truth is gentler than that. Healing is not a sudden spark, but a constant pulse, quiet, steady, ancient. Even now, as you lie here, over 300 million cells are dying and being replaced. Your skin renews itself every few weeks. Your gut rebuilds its lining in mere days. Your blood refreshes every 4 months. You are not a fixed being. You are a river of living chemistry, endlessly flowing toward balance. Each second, your body carries out around 37 trillion tiny acts of repair. Proteins fold and unfold like origami engineers, fixing damaged structures. DNA, your inner code, is constantly proofread by enzymes, tiny librarians erasing errors in your story so it can continue without pause. When you scrape your skin, your cells communicate through bursts of calcium and electricity, like flashes of bioluminescent light beneath an ocean. They gather, multiply, and weave collagen threads of invisible silk that pull the wound closed. In every healing, there is choreography. In every recovery, a rhythm. Healing is both biochemical and poetic. Your immune system, for example, is not a war machine, it's a council of caretakers. White blood cells patrol your bloodstream not to destroy, but to clean, to recycle, to remind your tissues that order still exists. Macrophages, the great eaters, swallow fragments of broken cells, then release molecules that signal peace to the body again. It's like a forest after a storm. Fallen branches are cleared, new shoots appear, and sunlight filters through again. And while all this happens, you may think you're doing nothing, just lying still. But stillness is the stage upon which every healing act performs. Your parasympathetic nervous system, the branch of calm, activates in rest, lowering your heart rate, dilating your vessels, allowing oxygen to flow more freely. Your brain gently shifts from alert beta waves into soft alpha rhythms, inviting your immune system to move in silence. In this state, your cells receive the message they've been waiting for all day. It's safe now. You can begin repairing. You might wonder, when did this begin? When did life first learn how to heal itself? Billions of years ago, in Earth's first seas, simple, single-celled organisms already knew. They could patch a tear in their membrane within seconds, seal wounds with lipid films, and restart their tiny motors. Healing is not a modern invention. It is one of the oldest languages in existence, spoken by bacteria, coral, trees, and humans alike. The rhythm of repair is written into your very molecules. Each cell carries a circadian clock, a molecular timekeeper that decides when to grow, when to rest, when to mend. At night, your body releases melatonin and growth hormone, signaling tissues to rebuild. Your brain's glymphatic system opens, washing away metabolic debris, cleansing the mind like a gentle tide. Even while you dream, neurons quietly reorganize, pruning old connections and strengthening new ones. This is why sleep is sacred. It is the hour when life remembers how to be whole. There's a quiet humility in knowing that healing does not need your command. You don't have to force your heart to beat or your skin to seal. You don't have to remind your liver to filter or your neurons to learn. Your body has always known. It is a cathedral of self-renewing systems, patient, faithful, tireless. And beneath all the science, beneath every molecule and enzyme, there's a kind of ancient intelligence that whispers, "Keep going." So tonight, as you lie there, breathing softly, let yourself trust that quiet intelligence. The ache in your shoulder, the exhaustion behind your eyes, even the invisible weight you carry in your thoughts, all of it is already being tended to. Somewhere inside, a small orchestra of light and chemistry is tuning itself for repair. And you don't have to do anything but rest and allow it. Tomorrow, your body will wake slightly newer than it was tonight. Cells will divide, wounds will knit, thoughts will realign. Healing is not a destination, it is a constant becoming. And every night, when you surrender to sleep, you are not falling into darkness, you are returning to the workshop of creation itself. Breathe in, slowly. Feel your body, the quiet science of healing, doing what it has done since the dawn of life. You are safe. You are still healing. You always have been. Even when you rest, your body does not. Beneath the surface of silence, a vast city of living cells continues its endless work, an orchestra without applause, performing the same ancient song of repair night after night. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. Inside you, light and chemistry weave through a dark landscape. Molecules flicker like lanterns in a fog of blood. Tiny sparks, bursts of calcium, electrons, and photons move through the body as quiet conversations. It looks still from the outside, but within you, a billion delicate hands are rebuilding everything you are. Every heartbeat sends a pulse of renewal. Each wave of blood carries nutrients, immune cells, and oxygen to the farthest corners of your being. When you fall asleep, this flow changes tempo. Your heartbeat slows, your vessels widen, and your cells begin receiving more of what they need to mend. The growth hormone rises like the tide, signaling tissues to divide and replenish. Proteins unfold, then refold themselves properly, correcting the errors left behind by the day's wear. This is not rest, it is recalibration. Sleep is the body's laboratory, quietly refining what life has endured. Your liver, the quiet chemist beneath your ribs, is among the busiest. While you dream, it filters out toxins, balances hormones, and even regenerates its own tissue. It's the only human organ that can regrow to full size. If part of it is lost, a miracle hidden behind the humdrum act of metabolism. Every drop of blood that passes through it leaves lighter, cleaner, freer. You may never notice this invisible service, but it is happening now, and every night of your life. In your brain, something even more extraordinary unfolds. A network called the glymphatic system, a kind of river made of cerebrospinal fluid, awakens as you sleep. It flows between the neurons, washing away the biochemical dust of thought, stress hormones, metabolic waste, fragments of memory that no longer serve. It's as if your mind exhales through these hidden streams, sighing in slow waves that carry away what you no longer need. By dawn, clarity returns not as a miracle, but as biology proof that even consciousness requires cleansing. Your muscles, which spent the day contracting and straining, now become soft fields of recovery. Tiny tears in their fibers caused by movement, effort, even emotion begin to knit themselves together. Proteins and amino acids gather, reshaping strength, strand by strand. This rebuilding doesn't just make you stronger, it teaches your body resilience. Every healed micro-tear is a small lesson written in tissue that says, you endured, you adapted. Meanwhile, your immune system moves like moonlight, slow, silent, and precise. White blood cells drift through capillaries, seeking what needs attention. They communicate in pulses of light called biophotons, tiny flashes that scientists believe may carry messages faster than chemicals alone. It's not just a metaphor. You are literally made of light. And in that light, every cell learns what the others have seen. In this way, healing is not chaos, it's coherence. A subtle synchronization of biology and energy, working together toward peace. Even your DNA, the script of your existence, takes part in this nocturnal ritual. Every day, it suffers thousands of small injuries from sunlight, toxins, and time. But as you sleep, specialized enzymes awaken to patrol the double helix. They find breaks, tears, and mismatched letters, and mend them one by one. This process, called DNA repair, is why you wake up whole despite the invisible wear of living. It's a quiet reminder that perfection is not the goal, continuity is. The body does not demand flawlessness. It simply asks to keep going. Healing is not only physical. Your nervous system too learns to unwind. The vagus nerve, which runs from brain to heart to gut, hums gently when you breathe slowly. Each calm exhale sends the message, you are safe now. In response, the body lowers its guard. Blood pressure falls, digestion resumes, and inflammation cools. The entire inner landscape softens. This is the biology of peace, measurable, repeatable, and deeply human. And then there's the heart, not just as a muscle, but as a communicator. Every beat creates an electromagnetic field, detectable several feet away, a kind of rhythm the body uses to organize itself. When the heart is calm, this field becomes smooth and coherent, and your cells fall into harmony with it. Researchers call this heart coherence, but it feels like serenity. In this state, healing accelerates. Your body listens to your heart's rhythm as if it were music, following its gentle tempo back to balance. You may think you're asleep, but your cells are awake, whispering to one another in languages older than thought, light, charge, molecule, rhythm. They are remembering who you are, rewriting the blueprint of wholeness again and again. Each breath is both lullaby and instruction. Each heartbeat, a command to begin anew. Even your dreams play a part. During certain stages of sleep, the emotional centers of the brain become highly active, replaying fragments of memory not to torture you, but to reframe them. Painful experiences are softened, emotional weight redistributed. The brain is literally editing your story for peace. When you wake and feel lighter, it's not only because you rested, it's because your mind has rewritten its chemistry overnight. So tonight, as you drift between wakefulness and sleep, imagine your body as a great, glowing engine of care. Not fighting, not striving, just humming in quiet precision. Trillions of cells exchanging gifts, oxygen, light, information. Each molecule finding its place in the choreography of renewal. This is not fantasy. This is you, right now. A living system designed not just to survive, but to heal endlessly, faithfully, beautifully. You don't need to command this miracle. Just breathe. Let your heartbeat slow until it matches the rhythm of the night. Your body knows the way home. It always has. There is a hidden language in your body, one that is older than words, older than thought, older even than breath. It is the quiet dialogue between your cells, whispered in pulses of electricity, molecules of light, and patterns of vibration. Your body does not speak English or any human tongue. It speaks in rhythm. It speaks in light. Each cell is not a silent thing. It's a living world, a soft chamber of water, protein, and energy, glowing faintly with activity. Through microscopes sensitive enough, scientists have seen them emit tiny flashes called biophotons, faint particles of light released by chemical reactions inside mitochondria. These flickers are unimaginably dim, a candle's shadow compared to the sun, but they are precise. They pulse in patterns, sending information between neighboring cells like coded starlight. Imagine that. Inside you, trillions of microscopic lanterns are constantly blinking, signaling repair, growth, and communication. Your tissues shimmer in a rhythm invisible to the eye, but measurable to science. You are, quite literally, made of light that speaks. This biophotonic communication is not random. It synchronizes like the hum of fireflies in a summer field. When one cell glows, others around it respond, aligning their oscillations, coordinating their metabolism, their healing, their rest. In a healthy body, these patterns are coherent. The light moves in harmony. When illness or stress takes hold, the pattern becomes chaotic, irregular, dim. Healing, then, is the process of remembering the original rhythm, a return to coherence. This concept, cellular coherence, is not merely poetic. In physics, coherence means that waves move together, amplifying one another. In biology, it means the body's countless microscopic signals fall into resonance, allowing information to travel instantly, smoothly, beautifully. When you meditate, when you breathe slowly, when you forgive, your nervous system quiets and coherence rises. The electrical fields of your heart and brain begin to synchronize. Cells sense this change in frequency. They feel the calm, and they answer with order. Inside each cell, there's another layer of conversation, the dance of ions and charge. Calcium, potassium, sodium, all drifting through microscopic gates, creating delicate ripples of voltage. This is how muscles move, how neurons fire, how the heart keeps time. The same electricity that lights the sky during storms is flowing through you this very second, not as chaos, but as melody. It's the hum of life, soft, continuous, electrical prayer. Your mitochondria, those ancient bacterial ancestors within your cells, are the power stations of this symphony. They take in oxygen and nutrients, and through intricate chemical cascades, they generate ATP, the molecule of energy. But they do more than that. They release their own soft light when working properly, the same biophoton glow that scientists detect. Healthy mitochondria shine. Stressed mitochondria dim. Your energy, your mood, your healing all begin with their brightness. Light is not only emitted, it is also absorbed. Your cells contain light-sensitive proteins, remnants of a time when life lived closer to the Sunday. This is why natural light regulates your sleep, your hormones, your mood. When morning sunlight touches your eyes and skin, it tells your internal clocks: wake, repair, renew. When night falls and light fades, melatonin whispers through the bloodstream: rest, restore, rebuild. Healing, therefore, is not just chemistry. It's choreography between light and darkness. Even your heart speaks in light. Each beat sends electromagnetic waves through your body fields, measurable by sensitive instruments several feet away. This heart field interacts with your brain waves, syncing them like two instruments, tuning to the same note. When they harmonize, stress hormones decrease and healing accelerates. When you feel love or gratitude, the heart's rhythm becomes especially smooth and coherent. That emotion, that warmth in your chest, is not imagined. It's physics, translated into peace. In moments of despair or fatigue, you might feel as though that light has left you, but it never does. Even in pain, your cells still glow, still communicate, still repair. Darkness is not the absence of light, but the space where light learns patience. Every injury, every sadness, every sleepless night, the body records them not as defeat, but as an invitation to recalibrate. Scientists have discovered that biophotons can form patterns similar to neural networks, webs of light guiding cell decisions. Some researchers even propose that this subtle glow could help coordinate processes faster than chemical signals alone. It's as if the body remembers, through light, what balance feels like. A scar fades because cells remember how unbroken skin once looked. A broken heart heals because neurons remember the frequencies of joy. The body, like a musician, tunes itself by memory of harmony. So, what happens when you rest? The flickering slows. The frequencies align. The language of light becomes legible again. Your breathing deepens, and with each exhale, electrical noise fades. Your cells begin speaking clearly to one another, quietly reweaving the luminous web that holds you together. You become, once again, a constellation in soft motion. If you could see yourself in that moment, not with eyes, but with awareness, you would look like the night sky turned inward. Billions of tiny stars pulsing in rhythm, forming galaxies of tissue and thought, each one aware of the others, connected by threads of light, carrying one message over and over: continue, continue. Healing is the art of remembering that language. It doesn't demand effort or belief. It only asks for stillness, the kind of stillness where you can feel the hum beneath your skin, the warmth behind your ribs, the quiet glow of life continuing. You are not broken. You are only learning to listen again. So tonight, before you fall asleep, imagine that language flowing through you, tiny words of light, spoken by your cells. They are telling you stories of renewal, whispering that all is well, that the rhythm will return, that balance is already being restored. You don't need to translate. Just rest and let your body speak fluently in the only language it has ever known: light. Your skin is not just a surface. It is a frontier, the meeting place between you and the world, between the inner sea of blood and the outer ocean of air. It is both armor and artist, both protector and painter of your body's renewal. Every second, it feels, breathes, and repairs. Take a moment. Run your hand gently across your forearm. That simple act, warmth against warmth, sets off thousands of sensors, tiny receptors, tuned to pressure, vibration, temperature, and love. What you feel right now is not just touch, it's connection. It is biology, remembering that you are still here. Your skin is the body's largest organ, covering nearly 2 square meters, yet thinner than a piece of paper in most places. It contains about 300 million cells, all in quiet coordination, shedding, rebuilding, sealing, sensing. Every 28 days, it renews itself entirely, like a slow tide washing ashore. You never truly wear the same skin twice. It is a river disguised as fabric, endlessly weaving and dissolving, recreating its own boundaries with patience. When the surface of your skin breaks a scratch, a scrape, a wound, a miracle begins beneath it. Blood rushes in, clotting within seconds to seal the breach. Then a cast of microscopic builders arrives. Fibroblasts, like weavers, spin collagen threads to form a scaffold. Keratinocytes crawl from the edges, bridging the gap. Macrophages clean away the ruins of the past. Within days, the wound that seemed raw becomes a quiet construction site. And beneath that pink softness, a new architecture of tissue forms. You might never witness it, but inside, your body is sculpting wholeness in slow motion. The most extraordinary part is that skin heals from the inside out. When you see a cut closing, it isn't the surface knitting together first. It's the foundation beneath that rises like land reclaiming itself from the sea. New blood vessels sprout like roots. Collagen fills the void, and then, only when stability returns, does the outer layer seal. Healing, like growth, begins in the unseen. Even the smallest scar carries memory, a signature of survival written in protein. A scar is not a flaw, it's an autobiography. It says, something happened here, And I continued. Within its fibrous texture lies the record of tension, light, and repair. Over time, collagen fibers reorganize, softening, aligning with the body's natural lines. The skin, humble and wise, never erases its past. It integrates it, turning injury into story, chaos into texture. There are people whose bodies heal without scars at all, a phenomenon called scarless regeneration. In newborns, this ability is nearly universal. When they are hurt, their tissues mend perfectly, without trace. Scientists believe it's because the balance between inflammation and repair is exquisitely tuned in early life. In adulthood, this balance shifts. The fire of protection burns longer than needed, leaving behind marks of survival. Yet, even in us, fragments of that perfection remain. Certain regions, like the inner mouth or cornea, can still heal seamlessly. Within that ability lies a whisper of the body's original blueprint, a memory of how to return to unbroken form. The skin doesn't only rebuild, it remembers. When an old wound site is injured again, healing happens faster. Cells in that region recall the choreography of recovery. Immune cells move quicker. Fibroblasts respond with precision. It's as if the skin holds a map of every storm it has weathered, learning from each. Every scar teaches the next wound how to find its way home. Healing, then, is education, not just restoration. Touch, too, is a teacher. When someone holds your hand, or when you stroke a pet, or even when you simply press your palms together, the skin translates that contact into chemistry. It releases oxytocin, the hormone of trust. Heart rate slows. Blood pressure falls. The nervous system exhales. Healing begins faster when you feel safe enough to soften. Even infants heal more quickly when held. Their breathing steadies, their temperature evens, their tiny hearts learn rhythm through another's warmth. Touch is not luxury, it is survival. Our ancestors huddled for warmth, not only to escape cold, but to synchronize their bodies. Skin-to-skin contact aligns hormones, immune responses, even electrical rhythms. Each shared heartbeat becomes a small broadcast of safety. When you hug someone, the electromagnetic fields of your hearts literally overlap two frequencies, briefly becoming one. This is the invisible science behind comfort, resonance, coherence, belonging. Your skin is also a sensor for light. When sunlight touches it, your body begins producing vitamin D, strengthening bones, regulating hormones, and supporting the immune system. This process is ancient. Your ancestors' skin evolved not just for protection, but for communion with the Sunday. Light is both paintbrush and medicine. It activates pigment cells to shield deeper layers, and it whispers to your circadian clock, "It's morning. Begin again." At night, the opposite happens. Melatonin rises as darkness deepens, and the skin enters its repair phase. Blood flow increases by nearly 60%. Collagen synthesis accelerates. Even tiny imperfections, UV damage, micro tears begin to fade. Your skin heals best in darkness because energy once spent defending now turns inward to rebuild. Nighttime, in biological terms, is the hour of forgiveness. To care for your skin, then, is not vanity, it is reverence. When you wash your face, you're not cleansing away the day's impurities. You're performing a ritual of renewal. When you sleep, you're not idling, you're offering your cells the stillness they need to remember their shape. Even breath affects the skin. Deep, slow inhalations improve circulation, feeding each pore with oxygen. Calmness itself becomes nourishment. So as you rest tonight, imagine your skin not as a barrier, but as an artist painting itself whole. Every cell, a brushstroke of light and intention. Every pore, a window between your inner world and the stars. It is listening to temperature, to touch, to emotion. It knows what hurts and what heals. And even now, in the quiet hum of the night, it is working not to perfect you, but to remind you that you are already whole. Breathe in. Feel the warmth of your skin, the silent labor of its tiny artisans. You are being remade, gently, invisibly, beautifully. Every inch of you glows with the memory of resilience. Your skin, your living canvas, is whispering its oldest story. You survived. You are safe. You can rest now. Your bones are not silent. They do not simply hold you upright, cold, and still beneath the skin. They are alive, sensing, listening, responding to every movement, every breath, every touch of the earth beneath your feet. When you stand, gravity speaks, and your bones listen. Inside each bone lies a network of living cells, osteocytes, osteoblasts, and osteoclasts, a trio of builders, shapers, and sculptors. They communicate through delicate tunnels called canaliculi, exchanging whispers of calcium and fluid. This hidden conversation decides what must be strengthened, what must be dissolved, what shape you will take tomorrow. It is not static, it is symphonic. Your skeleton is more like a coral reef than a pillar constantly dissolving, constantly growing, always learning the rhythm of your life. Every step you take, every stretch, every heartbeat sends waves of pressure through bone tissue. Those waves tell your cells how to adapt. If a region carries weight, osteoblasts rush there to thicken the lattice, reinforcing the architecture. If another lies dormant, osteoclasts gently remove what is no longer needed, recycling minerals for use elsewhere. Your skeleton listens to experience, translating movement into memory, pressure into strength. This process is called mechanotransduction, the body's way of hearing the physical world. Through it, gravity becomes guidance, motion becomes instruction, stillness becomes meditation. At night, while you sleep, your bones rest, but they do not stop working. In the darkness, they draw calcium and phosphorus from the bloodstream, refilling tiny cracks invisible to the eye. These microfractures, created by living, are not damage, they are practice. Each one triggers a small wave of renewal, a reminder that resilience is not the absence of stress, but the art of recovery. Even astronauts, far from Earth, remind us of this truth. Without gravity's constant whisper, their bones begin to forget their purpose. They lose density, like coral fading in a still sea. It's a quiet proof that life depends on gentle pressure, that strength grows only in relationship with weight. Healing, then, is not escaping gravity. It is learning to dance with it. Deep within, your bones hold a secret garden, the bone marrow. There, soft tissue cradled by hard mineral shell, the story of life begins anew every moment. Blood cells are born here, red ones to carry oxygen, white ones to defend and repair. Millions emerge each second, drift into the bloodstream, live their brief, luminous lives, and return to dust. The marrow hums with creation. It is the quiet womb of your existence, hidden inside the architecture that carries you. Bones are storytellers too. Each one carries a record of who you are and where you've been. In their density, scientists can read your age, your diet, even the climate of your homeland. They remember trauma fractures that healed, stresses that shaped. They remember love too, the weight of holding, the repetition of gestures, the dance of your unique gait. They keep time not in seconds, but in vibrations, like trees recording seasons in their rings. But bones do more than remember. They listen. When your muscles contract, when your heart beats, they sense the faint electromagnetic fields produced by each motion. Their cells are electrically active, translating those signals into cascades of chemistry that direct growth. In a sense, the body's inner structure hears the symphony of its own electricity and shapes itself accordingly. This is how you remain aligned, through constant conversation between motion and matter. Within this dance lies a balance, the push and pull between formation and resorption. If the builders work faster, your bones grow denser. If the dissolvers take the lead, they thin and soften. Stress, hormones, and even emotion influence this balance. Cortisol, the hormone of tension, can slow rebuilding, but calmness, sleep, and gentle movement restore the rhythm. Even laughter, by releasing endorphins, slightly shifts the chemistry toward renewal. Joy, quite literally, strengthens your bones. There's poetry in knowing that your skeleton hums with music. If you were to listen closely, truly closely, you'd hear microscopic vibrations, piezoelectric currents created when bones bend under pressure. These currents guide growth, like tuning forks shaping crystal. Each time you walk, stretch, or breathe deeply, you send a low, resonant note through your frame. Your bones respond in kind, adjusting themselves to stay in tune. It's a slow, lifelong improvisation, a duet between structure and sensation. Even pain, sometimes, is a kind of message in this language. A dull ache after movement is not punishment, it's conversation. Your body saying, "I am learning from this." And when you rest, those same signals transform into repair instructions. Healing begins not in defiance of pain, but in dialogue with it. Your bones are also the keepers of minerals and memory. When nutrients are scarce, they share releasing calcium into the bloodstream to steady your heartbeat and help your nerves fire. They are both vault and servant, preserving your strength while feeding your life. You are built of generosity. It's easy to think of bones as rigid, but they are in truth fluid slowed into form. Their crystals are hydrated, their proteins are flexible, their design is porous, alive, responsive. If you could shrink yourself and walk through the chambers of a bone, you would see not stone, but cathedral pillars of collagen, rivers of marrow, shimmering currents of minerals, flowing like honeyed light. It is a temple of endurance, lit from within. Tonight, as you rest, your bones are listening again, to your breath, to the pulse in your arteries, to the soft pull of gravity reminding them, you belong to the earth. They answer in silence, adjusting, repairing, renewing. You are not separate from the planet that holds you. You are its architecture, its memory, its quiet echo in motion. So breathe. Feel the gentle weight of your body pressing into the bed, the perfect dialogue between you and gravity. That pull is not burden, but connection. It tells your bones who you are and where you belong. And even now, deep in the marrow of night, your skeleton is whispering back, I am listening, I am learning, I am healing. Deep inside you, far beyond what the eye can see, a quiet council of architects waits. They are small, unassuming, patient, the stem cells' silent engineers of renewal. They do not age in the way other cells do. They do not choose a single identity. They remain in a sacred pause, poised between what was and what could be. These are your body's seeds of possibility. When damage occurs, when tissue breaks, when the story of your biology needs rewriting, they awaken. They divide, travel, and transform, becoming skin, bone, nerve, or blood. They are the shapeshifters of life, the living blueprint from which all healing begins. Think of your body as a vast library, and within it, the stem cells as blank pages. Each one carries the potential to write any chapter: muscle, cartilage, neuron, vessel. When a wound calls out, Biochemical signals drift through the bloodstream like whispers through a hall. They reach these waiting pages and tell them what story must now be told. And the cells respond with devotion, copying the text of wholeness from the body's memory, filling in what was lost. There are several kinds of these architects. Embryonic stem cells, at the beginning of life, hold limitless potential, able to become anything. But even in adulthood, you are not without this gift. Adult stem cells live quietly in your bone marrow, muscles, skin, and brain. They wake only when called upon, when the orchestra of healing begins to play. Each one listens to the chemical music of its environment, tuning itself to what is needed most. If bone cracks, they become osteoblasts. If blood runs low, they become red cells. If memory falters, neural stem cells in the hippocampus give rise to new neurons, proof that even the mind can regrow itself through care and experience. At the heart of this system is a profound intelligence, a kind of biological compassion. When one region of the body suffers, another sends help. Cells migrate through tissues, guided by gradients of chemistry and electricity, like birds following invisible currents. They arrive, settle, and begin the slow work of rebuilding. No central command issues the orders. The coordination emerges naturally, elegantly, as if life itself remembers harmony by instinct. Within your bone marrow, millions of stem cells sleep each night. They rest in small alcoves, called niches, tiny sanctuaries that protect them from damage and time. These niches maintain their youth, bathing them in signals that say, not yet, but be ready. When an injury sends distress through the blood, those messages change. Now, the body says, it's time. And so the stem cells awaken, dividing into new lineages, releasing a quiet pulse of creation into your veins. Scientists have discovered that even the heart, once believed incapable of renewal, holds its own stem cells. They repair small damages after strain, helping maintain rhythm. In the brain, neural stem cells create fresh neurons, even in adults, especially during sleep and learning. Each new connection formed in your mind tonight is, in essence, a small act of regeneration. Healing is not limited to wounds. It happens each time you grow, remember, or love. The elegance of this system lies in its humility. Stained cells do not rush. They wait, observing, listening for the right conditions. They need safety, a signal that the storm has passed. Only when inflammation quiets, when the nervous system exhales, when the body's environment turns from alarm to trust, do they begin their sacred work. In this way, calmness itself becomes a biological switch for healing. Peace is permission. In your lifetime, countless tissues have rebuilt themselves silently. You may carry scars, wrinkles, and memories of pain. But within you, there are regions, perpetually newborn patches of youth created anew every day. The lining of your stomach, your blood, even parts of your heart, all refreshed by the patient artisans within. They ask for nothing but time and balance. They need nourishment. Yes, oxygen, amino acids, minerals, but above all, they need stillness. Rest tells them, now it's safe to begin again. Imagine if you could see this process. Inside your marrow, clouds of light swell and divide. Cells move through dark rivers of blood like tiny stars migrating across a midnight sky. Each one carries a memory not of pain, but of purpose. They know where to go, what to become, and how to fit perfectly into the mosaic of your body. This is not magic. This is you. Researchers have tried for decades to understand how stem cells decide their fate. The truth may be both chemical and poetic. They seem to respond not just to molecules, but to pattern, to rhythm, pressure, electromagnetic flow. A gentle heartbeat may influence their growth. A pulse of light may guide their division. Even sound, the vibration of music, can subtly affect their behavior in lab studies. Your cells are listening all the time. They respond to harmony. Healing, then, is not a miracle imposed from outside. It's an awakening of what already lives within. A remembering. Each stem cell, in its patient way, teaches the same lesson, that renewal is always possible, no matter how deep the wound, no matter how long the silence. They show us that life never truly ends. It simply reorganizes, taking new form, continuing the song. As you rest tonight, imagine these architects stirring softly beneath your ribs. In the hidden cathedrals of bone and blood, they are tracing blueprints of renewal across your body. They do not hurry. They do not doubt. They know that repair takes time, and time, in the language of biology, is kindness. You don't need to guide them. Your only task is to offer them peace, to breathe deeply, to sleep, and to trust the quiet builders who work while you dream. Somewhere within, a new beginning is already unfolding. The hidden architects are awake. They are sketching the future shape of your wholeness. And as you drift into sleep, your body hums its timeless mantra: renew, restore, remain. There is an ancient story hidden beneath your ribs, a quiet tale of renewal that has been told since the beginning of life. It's the story of your liver, the silent alchemist, the only organ in the human body capable of growing itself anew. It is not dramatic, not loud, but infinitely patient, always at work, turning chaos into clarity, waste into wisdom, and fatigue into balance. Your liver is not a mere filter, it is a living sunrise. Every second, it performs more than 500 essential tasks, processing nutrients, balancing hormones, breaking down toxins, and storing energy in the form of sugar and fat. It watches over the bloodstream, like a guardian of equilibrium. When something harmful enters, it dismantles it with quiet precision. When you overwork, it catches the excess, breaks it apart, and waits for calm to return. The liver's genius is not only in what it does, but in what it remembers. It is the only organ in your body that can regenerate up to 70% of itself after injury. Even if most of it is removed, the remaining cells' hepatocytes begin dividing almost immediately, guided by signals older than the human species. In a matter of weeks, it returns to its original size, perfectly formed, as if nothing had been lost. This is not replacement. It is recreation, a biological resurrection. In mythology, the liver has always been a symbol of endurance. The ancient Greeks told of Prometheus, chained to a rock for stealing fire from the gods. Each day, an eagle would eat his liver, and each night it would grow back, defying punishment. Even in legend, humanity knew the liver is the keeper of resilience. It is the body's proof that destruction can never be final. To scientists, the mystery of this regeneration lies in growth factors, molecules like hepatocyte growth factor and interleukins that awaken sleeping cells, urging them to multiply. But beneath the chemistry, there is a subtler truth. The liver knows how to pause. It will not grow endlessly. It expands only until wholeness is restored, then stops. In that restraint lies wisdom, the understanding that healing is not excess, but balance. Your liver is also a master of alchemy. It transforms everything you eat, drink, and breathe into the materials of life. It takes fat and makes it fuel, converts protein into amino acids, stores vitamins for when you forget to feed yourself properly. It detoxifies countless chemicals each day, turning what could harm into what can be released. Every act of cleansing is also an act of kindness, your body forgiving itself for being human. At night, this work deepens. Between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., according to both medical observation and ancient healing traditions, the liver enters its most active phase. While you sleep, it filters the blood, clears hormones, and rebalances the inner tides. If you wake often at this hour, it may not be worry or dream that stirs you. It may be your inner alchemist at work. The liver also stores glycogen, the sugar of memory. When you rest, it releases just enough to keep your blood nourished, your brain lucid in dream. It never forgets you. It knows when you are starving, when you are anxious, when you are at peace. Its chemistry adjusts delicate, intuitive, almost emotional. In many ways, the liver is the body's heart of compassion. It absorbs the burdens of your choices and still chooses to cleanse. Its cells, shaped like tiny hexagons, form patterns resembling honeycomb, a design so efficient that nature repeats it in coral reefs, beehives, and the crystalline structures of minerals. Through these chambers flow rivers of blood, carrying stories from the stomach, intestines, and heart. Each molecule that passes through is examined, modified, transformed. Nothing leaves untouched. You are constantly being rewritten by this organ of quiet precision. When the liver is overwhelmed by stress, toxins, sleeplessness, or sorrow, it does not simply fail. It slows, like a tired tide. But give it rest, light, and care, and it rebounds faster than any other organ. It's as though it holds a memory of innocence, the way it once functioned perfectly in the womb, surrounded by maternal blood and absolute safety. That memory never fades. It is the reference point the liver uses to rebuild itself again and again, until your chemistry finds calm. Scientists have observed that even in transplants, when a piece of liver from one person is given to another, both halves grow back to full size, one inside the donor, one inside the recipient. It's as if the organ itself refuses incompletion. It seeks balance, wholeness, and reciprocity. One part gives, one part receives. Both are made whole. Healing, at its deepest level, follows this same pattern. To heal another is to heal oneself. There is something profoundly meditative about how the liver works. It does not seek attention. It labors in silence, in darkness, in rhythm with your heartbeat. It forgives every indulgence, every mistake, and simply continues its task, transforming what is heavy into what can flow. If the body were a prayer, the liver would be the amen, the quiet acceptance that completes the sentence of life. So tonight, as you breathe and feel the warmth beneath your ribs, remember that there is a small sun burning there, steady, golden, wise. It is not asking for control, or gratitude, or perfection. It only asks for peace, to rest so that it can work, to trust so that it can renew. The liver speaks the language of regeneration, a dialect of patience and light. It reminds you that renewal does not always look like motion sometimes. It looks like stillness, like darkness, like faith. And somewhere deep inside, as you drift towards sleep, your liver is whispering, "I am rebuilding. You are safe. You are becoming whole again." There is a light that moves through you, quiet and constant, a river of electricity flowing beneath the skin, carrying every thought, sensation, and memory. This light is not poetic. It is physical. It is the whisper of your nervous system, the living network that allows you to feel, move, remember, and heal. It's the thread that connects every cell to the story of you. From the crown of your head to the tips of your toes, 86 billion neurons form a constellation of connection. Each one reaches out through branching arms, dendrites, and axons, forming trillions of synapses, tiny gaps where messages leap as sparks. These sparks are not random. They are language. Every thought you have, every breath you take, every heartbeat you feel, is guided by these flashes electrons crossing a microscopic sea, faster than sound, slower than starlight. When one neuron fires, others echo in response, creating patterns of energy that weave perception into being. And when damage breaks the circuit through injury, trauma, or loss, the light does not die. It hesitates, then begins searching for a way back. The human body has a remarkable gift: the ability for neural regeneration. It was once believed impossible, but science has discovered that nerves can, in fact, heal. When an axon, the slender thread of a neuron, is cut, it releases signals that summon Schwann cells, gentle guides that form a path of protection called a regrowth tube. Inside that tiny tunnel, new fibers sprout, following the chemical scent of their destination. It's as if the lost signal remembers its home, retracing invisible coordinates through the landscape of flesh. Healing in the nervous system is slow, sometimes months, sometimes years, but it happens. Each day, damaged neurons stretch forward micrometer by micrometer, rethreading sensation through silence. In this, the body mirrors the mind. When you lose connection, recovery begins not with noise, but with patience. The same principle that rebuilds nerves also rebuilds hope. Electricity and biology are not separate. Each nerve impulse is both a charge and a choice ions of sodium and potassium, shifting across a membrane, creating a pulse of voltage. Billions of these pulses form the music of the body. If you could hear it, it would sound like wind in a field of grass, subtle, endless, shimmering. And in moments of deep rest, that field quiets. Brain waves slow, flowing from busy beta rhythms into calm alpha and theta states. In these slower currents, healing accelerates. Proteins repair, cells align, and memories soften their edges. Even thought obeys this rhythm, learning and emotion rewiring themselves like roots seeking light underground. Your spinal cord is the great trunk of this living tree. It carries messages between brain and body, north to south, east to west. When signals are blocked, either by injury or fear, the nervous system reroutes, searching for new pathways. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself. But beneath that definition lies something luminous: adaptability as a form of love. Your body never gives up on communication. It always finds another way to reach itself. Sometimes, healing begins with the faintest flicker, a tingling, a warmth, a return of sensation after months of numbness. That is not coincidence. It's electricity finding its path again. It's light returning home. And in that moment, you realize that recovery is not an act of force, but of remembering connection. In every cell, even those not traditionally neuronal, tiny electrical fields guide growth. The skin, the heart, even the gut, all generate bioelectric patterns that tell tissues how to organize. When these patterns are disturbed, healing slows. When they are restored, form and function return. It's as though each organ carries a faint memory of its shape, preserved in electricity. Healing is simply that memory reawakening. Scientists have begun mapping these bioelectric languages using light. By inserting fluorescent markers into cells, they can literally watch energy flow across tissue, glowing waves of blue and green, rippling through living matter. What they see looks like thought made visible. The same rhythm found in the brain appears in the skin, the heart, even in wounds closing. Everything alive is thinking in electricity. And then there is the vagus nerve, the great bridge between body and mind. It stretches from the brainstem through the heart and lungs to the abdomen, whispering calm when you breathe slowly. When the vagus nerve hums, your body shifts into the parasympathetic state: rest, repair, renewal. Cortisol falls, inflammation fades, digestion resumes, and the nervous system sighs. You can trigger this healing simply by breathing deep, gentle, rhythmic breaths that tell your cells, you are safe. Every emotion has an electrical signature. Joy synchronizes the heart and brain into smooth waves. Grief scatters the rhythm, fragments it. But even pain carries meaning. It's your nervous system's language of protection. And once you listen, once you acknowledge the message, it begins to quiet, like static fading after being understood. In some experiments, damaged neurons have been healed with light itself through a technique called optogenetics, where scientists use beams of blue light to guide or restore electrical function in cells. It's astonishing. The same light that nurtures plants and stars can teach your nerves to speak again. In that sense, all healing is luminous. All recovery, a choreography of brightness learning to move through shadow. And so, even in your stillness, the current continues, traveling, reconnecting, remembering. Your nerves do not sleep. They hum in harmony with the quiet around you, listening to your heartbeat, your breath, your thoughts. They translate silence into safety, safety into restoration. Tonight, as you close your eyes, imagine this inner network of light threads of gold and silver connecting every corner of you. See them glow softly, not as lightning, but as moonlight on water. Each pulse, each flicker is a message of return. Even what was once numb is awakening. Even what was once lost is finding its way home. You are not broken circuitry. You are a living constellation, rewiring itself with each breath. Your nerves are remembering their path, retracing the map of feeling and grace. You are light, rediscovering its shape. You are the body, remembering how to come home to itself. Every night, as you drift away from wakefulness, something extraordinary begins. Your mind thinks you are leaving the world, but in truth, you are entering its most sacred workshop, the hidden laboratory of sleep, where the body repairs, the mind rewires, and the spirit remembers itself. It is the quietest act of creation, repeated since the dawn of life. Sleep is not an escape. It is an orchestration, a sequence of stages, waves, and rhythms, each one designed to heal a different part of you. Beneath the stillness, your body becomes a cathedral of chemistry. Proteins fold, cells divide, tissues regenerate. The heart slows its tempo, the blood cools, and the brain begins its nightly choreography of cleansing and renewal. The circadian clock, a molecular metronome inside every cell, sets the pace for this work. When darkness falls, the pineal gland releases melatonin, a gentle messenger that tells your body, it's time. Cortisol, the hormone of alertness, fades like dusk light. Body temperature drops by a few degrees, signaling the nervous system to loosen its grip. The gates of healing open. As you fall deeper, your breathing lengthens and your muscles release their daytime tension. The brain enters non-REM sleep, where waves slow into great, rolling tides of delta frequency. This is when the physical body begins its work. Muscle fibers mending, bones thickening, immune cells patrolling, hormones calibrating. It is a wordless communion between biology and rest. During these deep stages, the pituitary gland releases growth hormone, a key conductor of regeneration. It tells tissues to rebuild, skin to repair, and metabolism to balance. It is during these hours that wounds close fastest, inflammation fades, and even the smallest cellular errors are rewritten. Your immune system, newly energized, reviews the day's chemical messages, marking threats for destruction and peace for preservation. You are not unconscious. You are in communion with creation itself. Then comes the dream. As night ripens, your mind transitions into REM sleep, the phase where eyes dart beneath closed lids and the theater of memory opens. In this fragile state, neurons fire as if awake, but the body remains still. The brain replays experiences, sorting them into meaning, deciding what to keep, what to let go, what to weave into the story of you. It's not chaos, it's editing. Your dreams are the art of healing through imagination. Emotional memories, especially those tied to fear or sadness, are softened here. The brain replays them without the surge of adrenaline, rewriting trauma into understanding. This is why you often wake lighter than when you slept. The mind has quietly forgiven itself overnight. Sleep is also the time when the glymphatic system, the brain's cleansing river, begins to flow. Cerebrospinal fluid washes through neural tissue, flushing out metabolic waste and old proteins like amyloid beta, which build up during wakefulness. Imagine a tide receding through a rocky shore, clearing every crevice, leaving behind clarity and calm. By morning, the brain emerges renewed, ready to perceive the world as if for the first time. Even your heart and lungs move to the rhythm of sleep's music. Heart rate drops by 10 to 20%. Blood vessels widen, lowering pressure. Breathing becomes slower, deeper, matching the brain's slow waves. Each inhale delivers oxygen like a lullaby to tired tissues. Each exhale carries away carbon dioxide and the remnants of the day's fire. It is not just rest, it is a dialogue between air and blood, silence and renewal. The immune system, too, takes center stage. During sleep, it releases cytokines, signaling proteins that coordinate defense and repair. This is why fever peaks at night, why recovery accelerates when you surrender to rest. Your body knows when to heal, even if you don't. Sleep is its language of self-respect. The mind, meanwhile, continues its subtler craft, integrating emotions, rewriting habits, balancing neurotransmitters. Serotonin and dopamine, those twin alchemists of mood, reset their levels. Cortisol, the morning flame, prepares its gentle rise. By dawn, your brain chemistry is tuned like a stringed instrument ready to greet light again with harmony. Sleep also reconnects you with memory, not only factual, but emotional. Dreams rebind feelings that were once fragmented. Sometimes they show up as symbols, oceans, staircases, lost faces, gentle light. In the quiet cinema of sleep, your subconscious translates repair into story. It is the brain's way of saying, I remember you. I'm putting you back together. From a biological view, sleep is universal. From jellyfish to humans, every creature rests. Even the simplest organisms pulse between activity and pause, proof that restoration is built into the fabric of existence. The rhythm of wake and sleep mirrors the universe itself. Stars flaring and fading, tides rising and receding, hearts beating and resting. In that rhythm, you are not apart from nature. You are nature. If you've ever felt guilty for sleeping too long, remember this: the deepest work your body does happens when you surrender control. While your conscious mind dissolves into dream, your cells are busy weaving tomorrow. To sleep is not laziness. It is devotion, a biological prayer, an act of faith in the body's wisdom. So tonight, before you close your eyes, take a slow breath. Feel your body preparing, temperature falling, heartbeat softening, thoughts thinning into silence. You are about to step into your own secret workshop. The moment you let go, thousands of processes will begin. Neurons syncing, DNA repairing, light returning to its rightful pattern. You will drift into the heart of life's oldest ritual, the sacred art of sleeping. And when morning comes, you will not just have rested, you will have been remade. Every cell, every memory, every pulse will be a little more whole than before. That is what sleep does. It is not the absence of living, it is the perfection of it. Now, breathe gently and let the workshop begin. The lights are dim, the tools are ready. Your body knows the way. Somewhere deep within every cell, coiled tighter than breath itself, lies a story written 4 billion years ago. It is a story older than blood, older than bone, older even than the Earth's mountains, and yet it is being rewritten inside you this very moment. That story is DNA, the ancient script of life, the memory of the universe recorded in molecules. DNA is not merely information. It is instruction. It tells every cell who you are, where to go, and how to heal. Each strand stretches 2 meters long, folded into a nucleus invisible to the naked eye. Within those spiraling ladders of sugar and phosphate are 3 billion base pairs, like notes in a silent song that the body hums without pause. Every day, this molecular library is under attack. Sunlight, oxygen, radiation, even normal metabolism, all leave small marks, tiny breaks in the double helix. Scientists estimate that your DNA suffers millions of microscopic damages per day, yet you do not disintegrate. Why? Because your body contains an army of molecular caretakers, enzymes that move like watchful scribes through the code, repairing, rewriting, and rebalancing. One of them, called DNA polymerase, acts like a proofreader. It slides along the double strand, checking each letter for errors. If it finds one, it removes and replaces it with precision faster than any human editor could imagine. Others, like endonucleases and ligases, mend breaks, stitching together the fragments as if sewing a tear in silk. These processes happen millions of times each second, in silence, without fail. Imagine that, right now, as you read these words, your DNA is healing itself. It is patching, polishing, and reasserting the pattern that makes you, you. In this, the body is both manuscript and author, constantly revising its own story, while you dream, while you breathe, while you simply exist. The DNA's repair is guided by memory, not conscious memory, but cellular. Each cell remembers the shape of its code, the music of its molecules. When a strand is cut, the cell doesn't panic. It listens. It feels where the pattern should return and writes it back. Healing begins not with command, but with recognition. Inside this process lies one of life's quiet miracles: resilience through remembrance. DNA doesn't cling to perfection. It allows for change, for mutation. Some changes break, others bloom. Without them, evolution would never have happened. So even in repair, DNA keeps a touch of chaos enough to allow adaptation, enough to ensure that life keeps learning. This balance between preservation and transformation is the secret of endurance. Every scar, every adaptation, every new generation is a reflection of that same dance. You are not static. You are a symphony of ongoing edits, each one guided by the memory of wholeness and the permission to evolve. During sleep, when the world fades, this cellular editing reaches its peak. Energy is redirected from movement and thought toward restoration. The enzymes of DNA repair become most active in the dark hours, scanning the code like monks by candlelight. Each repaired bond is a word restored. Each rejoined helix a sentence made whole. You do not need to believe in magic. This is the magic, hidden in molecular choreography. But DNA remembers more than structure. It remembers emotion in its own way. Stress, fear, and even love leave chemical bookmarks along its surface. Small attachments called epigenetic marks that tell genes when to wake and when to sleep. They do not change the letters of your DNA, only how the story is read. If you live in calm, your genes sing in harmony. If you live in fear, some fall silent, waiting for safety to return. Every deep breath, every laugh, every kind thought, they are not only feelings, but signals. guiding your very cells toward balance. This means that healing is not just physical, it is informational. Every moment of rest, of forgiveness, of surrender, sends a quiet message down to your genes. You are safe now. You can repair. The code listens. It loosens, unwinds, and begins again the ancient work of renewal. DNA also carries the memories of those who came before you. Within your sequence lie echoes of ancestors who lived through famine, storm, birth, and love. The genes that protect you from stress, that mend your skin, that guide your hormones, all of them are legacies, fine-tuned by centuries of survival. You are the sum of every healing that ever succeeded. The same molecules that repaired your great-grandmother's cells are working within you tonight. And though DNA changes with time, it never forgets its central vow to continue. Even in the final moments of life, cells keep repairing, as if refusing silence. This is not desperation. It is devotion. Life's most ancient instinct is not to grow or conquer, but simply to heal. If you were to look closely, beneath a microscope, you would see light. Each molecule of DNA emits faint biophotons, tiny pulses of electromagnetic energy. These glimmers are not random. They seem to coordinate repair, communication, even rhythm. It is as though the code glows when it remembers. Scientists call this cellular coherence, the harmony of living light. Philosophers might call it the memory of the soul. So tonight, as you rest, imagine that deep within you, a library is being restored. Scribes of light move quietly along the double helix, mending what the day has worn down. They erase fatigue, soften fear, and write calm into the chemistry of being. You are not aware of it, but your cells are hard at work, returning you to the blueprint you were born from, the pattern of wholeness. And as they do, your body whispers the oldest promise of life. I will remember. I will repair. I will begin again. Every heartbeat, every breath, every dream is part of that remembrance. You are not aging toward loss. You are spiraling through renewal. The DNA that remembers has never stopped writing your name in the language of light. And as you drift towards sleep, that light continues patient, endless, and beautifully alive. If you could see yourself the way the universe does, you wouldn't see flesh or bone. You would see light. Not metaphorical light, but real, physical, dancing photons flowing through every cell. Your body glows faintly, constantly a galaxy of living radiance invisible to the eye. Scientists call this biophotonic emission, light released by molecules during the chemistry of life. When your cells breathe, digest, or repair, they spark. Each spark is a message, a whisper of voltage and photon that travels across tissue faster than any chemical could. This is how your body stays in tune, through light. From your heartbeat to your thoughts, everything you are depends on electricity. Each cell maintains a delicate voltage across its membrane, a difference in charge that acts like a small battery. Together, the trillions of these batteries form an orchestra of potential humming in harmony. When you move, when you rest, when you heal, that voltage shifts tiny surges of energy that carry information and intention. This bioelectricity is not confined to the brain or nerves. It exists in skin, bone, heart, and even the gut. It guides development, repairs wounds, and keeps your organs communicating with one another. When you cut yourself, a faint electrical field forms around the wound, not random, but directional. It pulls cells toward the center, telling them where to grow, how to close the gap. Light and charge are the architects of repair. Each living cell is a microcosm of polarity, the inside slightly negative, the outside slightly positive. That imbalance is what allows energy to flow. And when billions of cells align as they do in muscle, bone, and brain, They create fields, patterns, and waves. You are not just made of cells, you are made of frequency. If you could shrink yourself down to the size of a molecule, you would see waves instead of walls, ripples of potential, shimmering in constant exchange. Every organ plays its note, the heart in deep, resonant pulses, the brain in flickering oscillations, the skin in slow undulations of warmth. Together, they form your electromagnetic signature, your body's song. When you feel calm, this song is smooth, coherent, radiant. When you are anxious or in pain, it becomes dissonant, noisy, scattered, dim, but the body knows how to retune itself. Through sleep, breath, and attention, you restore coherence, the harmony between all the frequencies that make you alive. This is not abstract. Scientists can measure coherence in the heart and brain. When your heartbeat and brain waves fall into rhythm, your entire body begins to synchronize. Blood pressure lowers, immune function rise, cells repair faster. It is as though your internal light reorganizes into a single balanced glow. Your heart is one of the brightest organs of all. Each beat creates an electromagnetic field that radiates several feet beyond your body, measurable, real, luminous. When you feel love, gratitude, or peace, that field becomes especially smooth. Your cells sense it, align with it, and begin to heal. In this way, emotion is not just feeling, it is frequency. Love is light in waveform. Even thought is electrical. Neurons communicate not through touch, but through bursts of charge. Every idea you have is lightning on a microscopic scale. When you meditate, the flickering storms of thought slow, and patterns of light reorganize into wide, gentle waves. This is why calmness feels luminous, because it literally is. Modern research is beginning to reveal what ancient traditions have always known, that energy precedes form. Long before we see healing in flesh, we feel it in vibration. Practices like meditation, qigong, or gentle breathing don't mystically heal. They modulate bioelectric fields, quieting noise, so the body's natural instructions can flow again. In silence, voltage balances. In stillness, light returns to symmetry. Inside your cells, mitochondria, the tiny engines of life, are constant producers of light. They release photons as they generate energy, and those photons can influence nearby molecules, synchronizing their activity. This is how order spreads in the darkness of your body through quantum whispers of illumination. You are not a machine, you are a living lantern. There's a quiet poetry in this. The same physics that fuels stars also powers your heartbeat. The same electromagnetic forces that sculpt galaxies sculpt your thoughts. Every flash of neuron mirrors the birth of a sun. Every breath echoes the rhythm of the cosmos. In that sense, healing is not something you do. It's something the universe continues to do through you. When the light within falters through stress, illness, or grief, the system dimly flickers. But light can be coaxed back through rest, nature, music, and stillness. Your cells realign. Studies have shown that even gentle exposure to natural sunlight restores mitochondrial function, reawakens circadian cycles, and stabilizes mood. You do not have to search for light. You are made of it. You only need to remember how to let it move again. In some hospitals, doctors now use bioelectrical therapies, weak currents, applied to wounds or nerves to accelerate healing. The results are astonishing. Broken bones fuse faster, tissue regenerates, and inflammation fades. But perhaps the most powerful current of all is the one generated by the mind. When you hold peaceful intention, not effort, but awareness, your nervous system shifts. Your voltage steadies, your field brightens. You are, in a measurable sense, changing your light. So tonight, as you rest, Imagine yourself glowing from within, a soft field of warmth, expanding from the heart, moving gently through every limb, every cell, every memory. Each breath feeds the glow. Each exhale clears the static. The light inside you listens, adjusts, balances. It knows where to go. It always has. You are not a flickering spark waiting to fade. You are the current itself, ancient, self-renewing, infinite. The same light that began with the Big Bang still moves through you, carrying the memory of stars, the language of healing, the rhythm of life continuing. So breathe, softly. Feel the electricity beneath your skin. That pulse, that hum, that quiet warmth, it is proof. You are light, remembering itself. You are the body healing in brightness. You are the living dawn. Before thought, before words, there is chemistry. Every emotion you've ever felt, joy, sorrow, love, fear, is a wave of molecules moving through you. They are not abstract things in the mind, but patterns of hormones, neurotransmitters, and light. Your feelings are your body's language, its way of speaking to itself. When you feel love, your brain releases oxytocin, a small, delicate molecule born in the hypothalamus. It flows through your bloodstream, softening tension, lowering blood pressure, and telling your heart, it's safe. When you hug someone, hold a hand, or simply think of someone you cherish, oxytocin glows through you, like dawn light spreading over water. It turns down the alarm systems in your brain and allows healing to begin. It is the chemistry of connection, the way your body remembers belonging. When you laugh, your brain releases endorphins, natural opiates that dissolve pain and ignite warmth. They're small molecules, but their effect is cosmic. They slow time, ease breath, and send gentle ripples through your nervous system. Each laugh is a brief molecular storm of joy, a literal vibration that reorganizes your biochemistry toward peace. Laughter doesn't just express happiness, it creates it. When you cry, your tears carry chemistry too. Scientists have found that emotional tears contain stress hormones and prolactin, substances that build up when we suppress pain. Through tears, the body releases what the heart cannot hold. It is not weakness. It is filtration, emotion, moving from energy into matter, from tension into cleansing. Crying changes your blood composition, lowering cortisol, stabilizing rhythm. When the sobbing subsides, the body sighs in alignment. The storm has passed. The chemistry of grief becomes the chemistry of calm. Even anger, often seen as destructive, has purpose. When you feel it, adrenaline surges, glucose floods the muscles, the body prepares for defense. But if expressed with awareness through breath, through movement, through release, those same chemicals become fuel for courage. Anger, in balance, is transformation. The body's way of saying, something needs to change. At the core of all emotion lies a single messenger, dopamine. It's the molecule of anticipation, desire, motivation, the spark that pushes you toward what you love. When dopamine flows freely, life feels vivid and full. When it falters, everything grays. But you can guide it gently through small pleasures, creativity, movement, gratitude. Dopamine thrives on meaning more than reward. When you find purpose, even quiet purpose, your chemistry follows. Serotonin, the molecule of contentment, is another pillar. It regulates mood, sleep, digestion, the gentle stability that makes calm possible. Serotonin rises when you see sunlight, when you eat nourishing food, when you practice kindness. It lives not only in the brain, but in the gut, where nearly 90% of it is produced. So when you listen to your intuition that flutter in your stomach, you are literally hearing the voice of serotonin. guiding you toward balance. All these molecules, oxytocin, endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, weave a biochemical web that shapes perception. Your body is a symphony, and emotion is its music. When you live in stress for too long, that music grows dissonant. Cortisol, the hormone of survival, becomes dominant, keeping you alert, tense, and sleepless. It is useful in short bursts to act, to flee, to protect, but poisonous when it lingers. High cortisol blocks growth hormone, suppresses immunity, and steals your rest. Healing begins the moment your body decides, I'm safe enough to stop running. How does the body make that decision? Through signals from your breath, your heartbeat, your thoughts. A slow, deliberate exhale tells your brainstem that danger has passed. The vagus nerve hums, the heart rhythm steadies, and cortisol begins to drop. In this simple way, by breathing, you alter your chemistry. You don't have to think your way to peace. You can breathe your way there. Your emotions also talk to your genes. When you live in gratitude or compassion, your cells adjust their expression, turning on protective genes and silencing inflammatory ones. This is not philosophy, it's epigenetics, how experience writes upon the surface of DNA. Kindness literally reprograms your biology. Forgiveness, practiced deeply, changes your immune response. Even a moment of awe gazing at the stars, hearing a melody that feels infinite, can shift molecular pathways toward healing. Every emotion is temporary, yet none are wasted. Joy, sorrow, anger, peace, all are chemicals cycling through time, each one teaching your cells a different way to adapt. Healing is not the absence of negative feelings, it is the movement through them. Emotion is energy in motion, emotion. When allowed to flow, it becomes wisdom. Your tears, your laughter, your tremors of fear, they are not flaws in your design. They are valves of transformation. They let chemistry become consciousness, biology become poetry. The body doesn't separate emotion from healing. It heals through emotion, through movement, through expression, through the courage to feel. So tonight, if your chest feels heavy, if your thoughts wander towards something unhealed, don't resist it. Place a hand over your heart. Feel the warmth rise beneath your skin. That's oxytocin blooming. Breathe in slowly. Each inhale invites serotonin. Each exhale carries away cortisol. Your body knows exactly what to do. Let the chemistry of emotion wash through you like rain. Tears if they come, laughter if it rises, both are medicine. Every molecule, every sigh, every pulse is the body's way of saying, you are alive. You are learning balance. You are becoming whole again. You are not ruled by emotion. You are composed of it. And like music, when the rhythm changes, you do not end, you simply shift key. Tonight, let the orchestra play quietly in your veins. Let oxytocin, serotonin, and light harmonize beneath your breath. You are the chemistry of calm. You are the physics of peace. You are emotion, remembering how to heal. Before the brain begins to think, before the lungs draw their first breath, the heart beats. It is the first rhythm of your life, the first drum in the orchestra of being. And even now, long after you've grown and filled yourself with thoughts, the heart continues to lead the symphony quietly, beneath all the noise. The heart is more than a pump. It is an electrical star inside your chest. Each beat sends not only blood, but also energy-measurable waves that ripple through your body and beyond it. Scientists call it the electromagnetic field of the heart, and it extends several feet outside you, shaping the space you inhabit. When you stand close to someone, your fields overlap, your rhythms synchronize. This is not poetry. It's physics, the science of resonance, the way life listens to life. Inside the heart's walls are 40,000 neurons, specialized nerve cells that form a small brain of their own. This heart brain communicates constantly with your head brain through nerves, hormones, and electromagnetic waves. In fact, the heart sends more signals to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. It doesn't just respond to emotion, it helps create it. When your heart rhythm is smooth, your thoughts calm. When it's chaotic, your mind races. Every heartbeat writes the tone of your consciousness. This harmony between the heart and brain is called coherence. When you breathe slowly, when you feel gratitude, when you rest in kindness, your heart waves and brain waves align. Cortisol falls, immunity rises. Your cells begin to work together with quiet efficiency. The body, the mind, and the emotions tune into the same key. It's as if every atom remembers the same ancient melody, the rhythm of life unfolding in unity. The heart's rhythm is not steady like a machine. It is fluid, like the sea expanding, contracting, adjusting to every breath and thought. This variation, called heart rate variability, HRV, is one of the clearest measures of your resilience. High variability means flexibility, the ability to shift between effort and ease, tension and rest. When HRV rises, healing accelerates. When it falls, the system stiffens. Every deep sigh, every moment of stillness helps the heart regain its rhythm. The heart speaks a language of feeling, turned into field. When you are afraid, the field constricts, tightening like a winter branch. When you are peaceful, it expands, soft as dawn. Your body senses this, and so do others, not through eyes or ears, but through synchronization. Sit beside someone calm, and your heart will begin to mirror theirs. This is empathy in its truest form, physics wearing the face of love. Children, especially, live close to this resonance. When a parent holds a baby to their chest, the baby's heartbeat gradually matches the parent's. Their breathing synchronizes, and both hearts settle into the same rhythm. It's not just comfort, it's regulation, a transfer of calm through electromagnetic grace. Healing begins in connection. It always has. Even animals feel this field. Studies show that when a person enters a calm, coherent state near a horse or dog, the animal's heart rhythm becomes smoother too. The bond between species is electrical, emotional, and ancient. The same physics that lets your heart align with another human's also lets it align with the heartbeat of the earth itself. When you walk barefoot on the ground, when you lie under the stars, your body synchronizes to the planet's magnetic pulse, a frequency of about 7.83 Hertz, the Schumann resonance. You are never disconnected. You are woven into the fabric of the living field. When heartbreak comes, when the rhythm stutters, the heart knows how to repair. Its cells can regenerate, its tissue can mend. But emotional healing is more subtle. When love is lost, the electromagnetic field becomes fragmented. You feel it as heaviness, emptiness, dissonance. The way back is through coherence, slow breathing, stillness, compassion. These are not just soothing ideas. They are instructions to the field, invitations for order to return. The heart also carries memory. Each beat carries traces of emotion, encoded in hormones like norepinephrine and peptides like ANF. That's why you can feel love or fear not only as thought, but as pressure in your chest. Your heart literally remembers what your mind tries to forget, but it also forgives. Each new beat is a fresh beginning, each pulse a chance to choose a gentler rhythm. When groups of people breathe together, meditate together, or even listen together, their heart rhythms begin to synchronize. In studies, entire rooms of people have shown shared coherence, one collective wave of calm, measurable in the air. In those moments, the boundary between self and other softens. Healing ceases to be personal. It becomes shared. The heart field is not about distance, but resonance. What you feel, you send. What you send, you amplify. If you could see this energy, it would look like ripples of golden light, radiating from your chest, merging with others, flowing outward into space. Each act of kindness strengthens it. Each breath of gratitude polishes it brighter. You are surrounded by your own luminous weather, invisible, gentle, profoundly real. So tonight, before sleep, place your hand over your heart. Feel it under your palm, the small ocean that has never stopped moving since the moment you began. Breathe in for 5 counts. Exhale for 5. Let your heartbeat and breath fall into rhythm. You are tuning yourself back to coherence, back to connection. And as you rest, know that your heart's light extends far beyond your body, touching the air, the room, the people you love, and even those you'll never meet. Your healing is not solitary. It ripples outward, quietly, endlessly, into the world. You are not a single heart beating alone. You are a wave in the field of life, rising and falling, with every other heartbeat that ever was. And somewhere, far beyond language, every pulse whispers the same word. Together, there is a silence living inside you, not empty, but full. A silence that hums with intelligence, that listens before it speaks. It is the calm beneath your thoughts, the soft pulse beneath the noise. And though it feels like peace of mind, it is also biology. Calm is not just an idea, it's a state of chemistry, a shift in electricity and hormone, a measurable transformation that ripples through every system in the body. When you slow your breath, when you sit in stillness, you are not escaping life, you are reshaping it. You are tuning your internal frequencies toward harmony. When calm begins, it starts with breath. Each slow inhale stretches small receptors in your lungs, sending messages through the vagus nerve, the great wandering bridge between body and brain. That signal travels up the spine to the brainstem, where it whispers, "We are safe." Instantly, the body obeys. Heart rate slows, muscles loosen, digestion resumes, and the chemistry of defense dissolves into the chemistry of healing. This is called the parasympathetic response, the state of rest and restoration. It's the biological opposite of fight or flight, a built-in sanctuary. In this state, cortisol drops, serotonin rises, and the immune system shifts from protection to repair. Inflammation quiets, blood vessels open. Your body starts mending the damage left by stress, breath by breath. Calm also rewires the brain. In moments of stillness, the amygdala, the brain's alarm center, becomes less reactive. At the same time, the prefrontal cortex, responsible for reason and empathy, grows more active. It's not metaphorical balance, it's literal. The circuitry of fear relaxes, and the circuitry of compassion lights up. Even genes listen to calm. Studies show that within minutes of deep relaxation, over 1,000 genes change their activity. Some that promote inflammation switch off. Others that repair DNA and regulate metabolism turn on. It's as if calmness writes new instructions into your biology. Slow down, rebuild, begin again. The heart, too, becomes coherent. As breath and heartbeat synchronize, the body enters what scientists call heart-brain coherence, a rhythm so stable that it can influence cells throughout the body. Hormones align, the immune system strengthens, and the mind clears. It's a physiological symphony conducted by stillness. Even the immune system listens. In the state of calm, natural killer cells, the body's defenders become more efficient, not aggressive. They move with precision, not panic. Chronic stress makes the immune system confused. Calm gives it clarity. You could say that calm doesn't make the body stronger, it reminds it that it already is. The gut, that hidden mirror of emotion, also breathes with you. Every calm inhale massages the digestive organs, releasing tension, stimulating blood flow. The microbiome, those billions of small lives inside you, responds too. When you are anxious, it shifts toward imbalance. When you are peaceful, it blooms with diversity and harmony. Your inner ecosystem mirrors your emotional climate. Calm even changes time. Under stress, the brain floods with adrenaline, and seconds feel sharp, fractured. But in calm, the nervous system slows, and perception expands. Moments stretch, sounds deepen, colors soften. You move from surviving to sensing. That's why peace feels infinite, because your neurons have stopped rushing and started listening. Practices like meditation, prayer, and gratitude are not spiritual luxuries. They are biological regulators. When you focus on gratitude, dopamine and serotonin rise together, creating a state of quiet happiness. When you meditate, waves of gamma activity ripple through the brain, synchronization patterns linked to insight and compassion. And when you simply close your eyes and breathe, your heart rate variability increases, your stress hormones decline, your cells receive the message, you are home. Calm is also contagious. When you enter a room in peace, others' nervous systems adjust to your rhythm. This happens through mirror neurons, brain cells, that imitate the emotional state of those nearby. In your stillness, you give others permission to soften. Your calm becomes an offering, invisible but felt. Even pain responds to peace. In calm, the brain releases endorphins and cannabinoids, natural painkillers that soothe without sedation. Tension unwinds, and the perception of pain changes. You may still feel it, but it no longer defines you. Pain becomes sensation. Sensation becomes information, and information becomes understanding. When you practice calm regularly, your baseline shifts. Your nervous system learns that safety is normal. Your body stops bracing for storms that never arrive. Over time, inflammation, fatigue, and anxiety fade like echoes. You rediscover that healing was never about control, it was about trust. There's a reason that monks, poets, and physicians all speak of stillness as medicine. It is the place where the body and mind remember their agreement, to serve each other gently. To be calm is to align with the laws of biology, with the rhythm of the planet, with the pulse of the stars. It is to return home to the quiet intelligence that birthed you. So tonight, take one slow breath in. Let the air fill you like soft light. Hold it for a heartbeat. Feel the quiet between pulses. Now exhale. That space between inhale and exhale is calm itself, the pause where life listens. In that pause, your hormones recalibrate, your genes awaken, your cells remember balance. Nothing mystical, nothing forced. Just the biology of peace unfolding. You don't have to chase calm. You only have to stop interrupting it. It's already here beneath the noise, beneath the worry, beneath the heartbeat. And when you listen closely enough, you'll hear it whispering in your own breath. You are safe. You are whole. You can rest now. Before healing begins, before cells divide, before breath even finds rhythm, there is memory. Not the kind that lives in the mind, but the one woven into every molecule of your being. A memory older than language, older than pain. It is the memory of wholeness. This memory is not a story you tell. It is the quiet knowing that you were never truly broken, only rearranged. That even when the body aches and the heart feels lost, something deeper remains untouched, waiting, humming softly like a note beneath all other sounds. Every cell in your body was born from another. Each carries the imprint of the first, the original spark that said live. That spark has never gone out. It passes through every division, every repair, every renewal. This is not poetry, it's biology. The continuity of consciousness through matter, the unbroken relay of life remembering itself. Healing, at its deepest level, is not fixing what is wrong. It is remembering what has always been right. When the body repairs, when the mind releases, what returns is not something new, it is recognition. The system realigns to its original pattern, the blueprint of balance encoded in every strand of DNA. Your cells know this pattern. They spend every moment of your life sculpting toward it. Even scars, those quiet signatures of survival, hold this memory. Within the collagen and the healed skin lies information, a record of how wholeness was restored. When you touch a scar, you touch a story of return. The body does not hide its history, it integrates it. Every healed wound becomes part of a larger harmony, a mosaic of resilience written in flesh. The same truth lives in the mind. When you forgive, when you release grief, you are not erasing the past, you are integrating it. The nervous system rewires itself, transforming memory into wisdom. Neurons that once fired in pain begin to fire in understanding. This is neuroplasticity as grace. You do not lose who you were, you expand who you are. The heart, too, remembers wholeness. Each beat is a rehearsal of that unity, a gathering of all systems into one sound. Even when you feel fragmented, the heart remains faithful, pulsing with the rhythm that first formed you in the dark of the womb. Your heart has never forgotten home. Every night, when you drift into sleep, it guides you back there to that quiet ocean where you began. Sometimes healing feels like nothing is happening. That's because remembering is often silent. Cells rebuild without fanfare. Nerves reconnect in darkness. Even stars form quietly in clouds of dust. The universe never rushes its repair, and you are made of the same patience. There is a field around you, electromagnetic, emotional, alive, shaped by everything you've ever felt. When you rest, that field begins to smooth, to shimmer, to find coherence. It's as if your entire being exhales. The tension that once held your edges too tightly softens, and suddenly, you can feel yourself expand, not as one body, but as part of everything. You remember that your heartbeat is not separate from the rhythm of the world. Even death, that greatest change, is part of this continuity. When a cell finishes its work, it dissolves gently, leaving behind nutrients and signals that feed the next generation. Nothing is lost. It only transforms. The body's smallest acts mirror the universe's largest truths. Stars collapse into dust that births new suns. You too are part of that rhythm-endless creation, disguised as ending and beginning. When you sit in stillness, when you breathe, the nervous system calms, and this memory surfaces. You may feel it as warmth in the chest, a quiet pulse in the hands, or a sense of space widening around you. That is wholeness remembering itself. Not something you earn, not something you repair, simply something you uncover by being present enough to notice. Science calls this homeostasis. Spirit calls it peace. They are the same thing. The return to equilibrium, to balance, to the pattern that never forgot itself. Even chaos serves this return. Every fever, every heartbreak, every storm of thought eventually cools back into stillness. That stillness is the body's default, the Earth's default, the cosmos' default. Wholeness is not rare. It is what everything is trying to remember. You can feel it now, can't you? That subtle hum beneath your ribs, that quiet intelligence working even as you rest. It does not need your instruction. It only needs your permission to be still, to unfold, to remember. Breathe in slowly. Hold it just for a moment. Notice the still point at the top of the breath, the pause before release. That pause is eternity in miniature. Now exhale, and let the air fall out of you like a sigh that's been waiting years to be free. In that exhale, the body releases what it no longer needs. In that release, it returns to the truth it has carried since the first heartbeat. You were never broken. You were always whole. Healing, then, is not the act of becoming something new. It is the act of remembering what you have always been: starlight, condensed into matter, awareness wrapped in breath. Every cell, every dream, every pulse carries the same ancient whisper. Continue. As you drift towards sleep, imagine your body as light, floating through a quiet current of warmth. Each thought dissolves. Our breath softens. Your heart glows faintly like a lantern in deep water. The current carries you back to where you began, calm, complete, endless. You are not healing anymore. You are remembering. And memory, in its purest form, is peace. So rest now. Let the night fold around you like soft arms. Let your heart beat slow to the rhythm of the earth. You are whole. You are loved. You can sleep. Good night. Shh. Don't think now. Just breathe. The science is done for tonight. The stories of your cells, your light, your heart, they are all still working quietly while you rest. You don't have to heal anymore. You only have to let the healing continue. It knows what to do. It always has. Pause. 5 seconds of silence. Feel the air entering your lungs. Feel how it moves without effort. In and out, like tides remembering the moon. Each breath is a message. You are safe. You can rest now. Let your shoulders melt into the mattress. Let your hands grow heavy. Your thoughts can float away. Little leaves carried downstream, far from the mind, into the soft darkness. Pause. Faint ambient sound. Slow heartbeat. Water ripple. The night holds you now. Every cell listens. Every atom exhales. You are surrounded by the sound of your own peace. Somewhere, deep beneath your ribs, a small light still glows. Steady, patient, eternal. That is you. That is life. The world will keep turning. Your body will keep repairing. Your dreams will keep remembering. And all you need to do is drift. Long Pause. 10 seconds. You are safe. You are loved. You are whole. Good night, traveler of light. Sleep deeply. Dream softly. The healing continues.